Greetings, dear ones. How are you feeling this amazing new day? We are the frontiers, riding the wave of evolutionary progress. It is the steps of the journey rather than the destination that shapes our resilient character. Learning, growing, stretching the concepts, beliefs, and experiences. We have the choice, the will, and the stamina to make every second and every step of our journeys magnificent, filled with our own desires that echo throughout the fabric of this reality, encompassing the whole, seeing with enlightened eyes, and knowing that the treasure is you. Hello, dear ones. As you can see, I have a lovely guest on the Treasures You podcast. But first, I would like to introduce her and tell a little bit about her. She is a transformational guide, spiritual teacher, and empathetic visionary with a mission to empower humanity to transcend limitations and step into their highest potential. She envisions a new earth, one where we live in harmony with the planet, the cosmos, and with each other. Through her work, Gloria invites people to embrace self-empowerment, heal deeply, and align with their soul's true path, creating a rippling effect that touches the world. Gloria's mission is to help individuals reconnect with their soul's truth, overcome limitations, and step fully into their power, all with the vision of building a more conscious, compassionate world. In this vision of a new earth, Gloria sees each person embracing their unique gifts, collectively creating a world rooted in love, freedom, and harmony. So I welcome Gloria Battini to the Treasure Is You podcast.
Hello, Sonia. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you. Thank you so
yeah,
much. I'm
yeah.
excited. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you. I really am. Your energy is so beautiful.
Aw, right back at you. Right back at you.
Thank you. Yes. I just want to say this. I was looking on your website and it is beautiful, just like you. And you have on your homepage guiding souls to an expanded future.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Like I
Yeah.
can see that. I feel
Right?
that. Yes.
Yes, that's exactly what I feel. I feel the same. I can see it. I
I
can
can
see it. I can
yes.
really see it. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
So I love that. I love your website. I love your energy. Just everything about you. The universe connected us together and I just love it. Thank you, universe, for
Thank you,
connecting
universe.
us.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So I just want to share this as well before we get started. I wanted people, my listeners and my viewers, to hear whatever you want to share, a part of your story, and we can take it from there. Whatever you want to share, just go ahead and whatever's on your heart so people can resonate and connect in some kind of way. That's what we're doing here.
Yeah, 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 absolutely, absolutely. I think my story, I don't know, I don't know, do we I feel that I want people to feel that they have their unique story. I
Yes.
connect with so many people, and they say to me, "Oh, I don't have such a unique story." It's not true. It's not true. Your story is unique because you are. And so I want everyone to know that. So I'm going to share a little bit of mine, and I think I want to share this bit because I want to connect with everyone, but I want to connect with the people who think that they cannot change,
Right.
think that there's no hope,
Right.
think that this is the life that I've been given, and this is how I must live. There's no chance, there's no possibility to change because this is who I am. Okay. So you choose who you are.
Yes.
Yeah, you choose who you are. So I come from a small village in Italy,
Mm-hmm.
Italian countryside, small village. My parents split when I was 3 years old, 2 or 3 years old. I do not have memories of my parents being together as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and my mom went back to live with my grandparents, and my grandparents didn't weren't happy with the divorce. So my mom had to break a certain cycle herself, right?
Yeah.
So she had to. So they were not happy with the divorce. So I always received a lot of love from them, but I
Mm-hmm.
believe that they were different grandparents than they were parents, and I think that that
Mm-hmm.
happens very often, doesn't
Yeah.
it? It happens very, very often. So anyway, so I come from this environment which was very loving, but it was also very close in terms of mentality. There was a lot of judgment. There was a lot of narcissism. There
Mm-hmm.
was a lot of um, criticism, a lot of,
Yeah.
not very much hope. Not very much hope. It was all very much the world is doomed. You gotta, if you want to make anything of yourself, you have to work 12, 15, 16 hours a day for pennies. It was very like a dark kind of like view of the world,
Yeah.
and obviously came from pain. My the background of both my sides, both my mom and my dad, it was poverty. It was in cases extreme poverty as well. And so there wasn't very much hope for the future, and there was a lot of pain, that then reflected in the way that I was raised and the things that were said to me as
Mm.
I was growing up. And the result of that was getting involved, well, was growing up with very, very low self-esteem, was cycles of self-hate, was extreme anxiety, OCD, and then also ending up in a relationship that was a very toxic relationship with a narcissistic man, which I stayed in for about 15 years. So yeah, so it was a little bit of a beginning. It was a bit of a journey, I would say. Not that I was aware of any of it at the time.
Yeah,
Not
we're
that I
never
really
aware
was.
then.
you know, the only thing that I was angry. The only thing that I was that I was angry. I was not understanding. I was this child. Was a very sensitive child,
Yes.
very, very sensitive child. I was very connected to the energies around me,
Yeah.
but it was not the, first of all, I was naive. I thought that's how everyone felt.
Ah.
I thought that's how everyone felt, that we just had the same. I never spoke about, for example, death with my parents or with my family. And so I thought that the way that I feel energies of people who are on the other side was just a normal experience, like
Right.
natural to everyone, right? So it never occurred to me that it could be something different. But then as I grew up, I got more and more disconnected from that spiritual self, as you do when all the anxiety, self-hate, self-doubt, low self-esteem, those are all things that kind of like disconnect us, aren't
Yeah.
they? But I was always sensitive. Another thing that I always felt when I was little was that for some reason I felt that I was older than my parents.
Mm.
I don't know if anyone else resonates with this, but I felt like I was hearing the words that my parents were saying to me, and I was not convinced. I was saying, this isn't it. I
Mm.
feel that there's so much more that can be done with this. There's so much more depth to this
Right.
situation. I don't feel that this is useful. I don't feel that the advice that you're giving me is beneficial. Like, I felt very different. I felt much, much older than them.
Right.
And I think that that's what caused the anger, so much anger. And so I wanted to just be left to do my own thing. I just wanted to be left. And anyway, so fast forward, I am in this relationship for about 15 years. And then I get to a point about 9 years ago now. Yes, about 9, 10 years ago now. I get to this point in the relationship where I am completely raveled with anxiety and OCD to the point that I actually do not know what's going to happen. I am really, really worried about myself. I think I'm going crazy. I think my mind is not really not in the right place. And so I thought, I need to do something about this because this is really worrying me and it's not healthy. And so I did some research, and I started working with a coach who specialized in anxiety disorders.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, I did not know that I was in a toxic relationship. I did not know I was married to a narcissist, knew nothing about it, knew absolutely nothing about it. So when I started working with this coach, we focused on the anxiety and on the OCD, but some of the questions that she was asking me were about my relationship, and I was blindfolded for a very long time. I could not recognize. And then at some point, something clicked as we worked more on the OCD, because anxiety and OCD take so much space in your brain.
Mm-hmm.
And you really don't have time you really don't have the physical space, physical capacity in your brain to focus on anything else because there's so much that's going on.
Right.
But as we healed, as she helped me overcome, I created more space in my brain. And as I created more space in my brain, I could finally see things as they were.
Wow.
I could see behaviors that didn't, that were not really healthy. And then in 2017, we went with my ex-husband. We went to do this trip over across the pond over in the US. And
Okay.
as part of this trip, we visited Monument Valley. And I don't
Mm.
know if you're familiar, but it's such a beautiful place, a sacred land.
Okay.
And I had this beautiful experience with a Navajo guide
Ah.
to do this tour of the valley at sunrise. And it was just us and the guide. And the guide took us to this most like famous bit in the valley, which is called John Ford Point. And
Uh-huh.
it's this beautiful rock, and you can sit on the edge of the rock and you have the whole valley in front of you, and it's immense. It's just so
Wow.
vast, so big. And I sat there, Sonia, I was weeping. I
What?
was weeping. I
What?
literally felt whatever it was, the universe, God, the angels, whatever it is that you resonate with. I felt it. I really
Yes.
felt it inside of me. I felt at the same time like so small in
Yeah.
this vastness, of nature. I felt so tiny.
Yes.
And I thought, I'm lying to myself.
Mm.
I am lying to myself so much.
Wow.
And I said, I cried. I sat there actually for 5 minutes. I cried. And then I said, it ends here. I'm making a promise right here, right now, that I am never going to lie to myself ever again.
Mm.
And then we carried on with that trip, and it was very profound, even the rest of the trip, because we visited, other really beautiful places, went to Yellowstone as well, which is again like amazing,
Right. Yeah.
visit and that. And so my awakening sort of continued during this trip. And then when we came home, I started to come home me to myself,
Yes.
and I started looking after my body more, and I made more progress with the OCD and with the anxiety and everything. And then 9 months later, I left. 9 months
Mm.
later, I left and I went to live on my own. Now, if you, I want you, everyone who is listening, if
Mm.
you think that you cannot do it, that you're on your own, when you stand up for yourself, when you choose yourself, the
Yes.
universe comes and meets you. Okay,
Yeah.
trust that. Really trust that. I made a decision. I did not know where I was going to live. I had no idea where I was going to go. And I called my landlord of a studio flat that I, from 10 years before when I initially moved to London. I called him and I said, Anthony is his name, bless him. I'm so grateful for him. And I says, Anthony, I'm on my own. I'm looking for a place. Do you have any of the studio flats available? And he said to me, Gloria, I had this studio flat free for a month and I
Mm.
have not put it on the market yet because I have not had the time to do the works that needs to be done. So he says, if you have a few weeks, it's yours.
Mm.
Yes, I said, absolutely. Yes, I'll take it. But
Yeah.
I still had a month and I didn't want to be in this house
Yeah.
with my ex
Right.
for a whole month, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I go to work the next day and I speak to my boss and I tell him, what I'm going through, just obviously to inform him, there
Yes.
could be some like disruptions and all that. And I said, and he goes, do you have a place to stay? And I said, well, not for a month. I found this studio flat and I tell him the whole thing. And he goes, wait. He goes out of the office, makes a phone call, comes back in and he says, you get out of the house tomorrow. You
Wow.
get out of the house tomorrow. We have a room free on top of one of the pubs that I used to be an events director. So
Mm-hmm.
we had different venues around London. He says, you go get out of the house tomorrow. He says, the room is ready for you. They're going to clean it. You move in there, stay there until the flat is ready and just go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yes.
Right. So
Yes.
you stand up for yourself. I still have goosebumps every time I tell this story because you stand up for yourself. You have to trust that
Yes.
standing up for yourself, it's the best thing that you could ever do. You
Yes.
have to trust that. And I guarantee you the universe is going to come and meet you.
Yes. Yes. It
Yeah,
met you and it meets everybody. Like you
it
said, when
does.
you trust.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
You have to have that thought, that bravery that says, you know what? I don't know what's next, but
Mhm.
it's going to be so much better than this
Yes.
because
Absolutely.
I know that I deserve more than what this is.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's all, you
Yeah.
know? That's all.
That's all.
Yeah.
And it's powerful. It's
Mhm.
powerful.
It really is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the universe orchestrates, opens up the doors for you, for what
Yeah.
you need. And guess what? It's always doing that for us, but we have to trust. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you
Yeah.
for sharing that. Yes, that was,
Thank you.
people need to hear that.
Thank you. Yes, I do. I've had so many clients and so many friends, in the past 8 years since all of this has happened that have come to me. Yes, but I don't know if I can do it because, what if this doesn't happen? What if I said, you don't have to think 5 months into the future. You just have to choose yourself now.
Yes.
That's all you have to do. You
Yeah.
have to choose yourself now. And everything else is going to fall into place in exactly the way that it needs to be,
Right. The way it's supposed to.
the
Yeah.
way it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. That's amazing. As I said, I'm so happy you shared that because
Thank you.
because the mindset of the collective is always trying to figure out the next move, the next step, right? Trying
Yeah.
to control everything. Yes, that includes me. This is when I say that, this is me sharing parts of my old self and how I used to be. And I
Yeah.
had to learn how to surrender. And guess what? I'm still learning how to surrender to this day. It's an
Yeah.
ongoing process, this journey of life. And when we surrender, as you said, and trust,
Yeah.
then everything is going to orchestrate for you, for your highest good. You're always supported. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Yes.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Very
You
powerful.
always are supported. So you can change. Things can change for you as well. Just choose yourself.
Yes.
Really choose yourself.
Yes. Choose yourself. And as you say that, a lot of people, when you say choose yourself, a lot of people don't see themselves. That's part of the issue, is they don't really see themselves. They see other people. They see, all others, just distractions and tragedies. They see all this other stuff, but they don't see themselves. So it's kind of hard for them to trust when they don't see themselves.
Yeah.
But as you shared with your story and many others,
Yeah.
it just boils back down to trust. We have to trust and allow ourselves to walk down another path that's better for us.
Yeah.
Then we will begin to see ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. And it doesn't mean that there's not going to be hardship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It doesn't mean that there's not going to be hardship. I'm a big believer that hardship and struggle are two different things. Struggle is a choice. Hardship is not.
Right.
Right. So hardship is part of life as much as it is, as much as joy is,
Mm-hmm.
that it's all part of, challenges are part of lives because it's through challenges that we grow.
Yes.
Yeah. But struggle, we choose to stay in struggle.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yeah.
choose that. We choose that when we resist change, when we choose to not be brave and take the steps that feel really perhaps scary, when we choose to live in fear, when we choose to live distracted.
Mm-hmm.
That is the choice of struggle to me. Hardship is not. Hardship is there because it's just part of it. It's just part
Right.
of all of the energies. And it's okay that it's there. It's good that it is
Yeah.
because it helps us grow and evolve.
Yes.
But struggle, no. Struggle is a hard choice. It's a full on, yeah,
Yes.
choice.
Yes. Yeah.
Subconscious.
That's because we do have choice, and that's another thing.
Yeah.
A lot of the collective, as I say, and I'm a part of the collective, that you don't you don't trust. Okay, I'm going back to the trust, but we always have the choice. And this is what I want to share is that yes, the collective, which includes myself, we're all a part of that,
Yeah.
but I have the choice, just like you have the choice, and we always have a choice to make decisions that are going to be for our highest good.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, which I hear a lot, I don't have a choice. I don't have an option. You see? No, we
Mhm.
always have the option. We always have the choice. So
Yeah.
once you know you have that choice, that means you opened up in your mind that possibility that you can have a choice.
Yeah.
So that right there is a great thing to know that you have a choice, because a lot of people do not think they have a choice. They stay in the same mundane routine, like looping, doing the same uh work, or having the same mentality that does not help you evolve or help you grow or help you learn, because
Yeah.
you're stuck in that mentality that just says, let's just continue doing the same thing. And no, we're not supposed to be doing the same thing, because guess what? That doesn't bring any joy. That doesn't bring any happiness, right? That doesn't
Mhm.
bring anything that's going to help our evolution.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yes.
Not choosing and seeing and feeling like you don't have a choice is also a choice within itself.
Exactly. Also a choice within
It's also a
itself.
choice within itself because you choose to not see a different perspective. You choose not to go to not believe in the fact that you might have a choice. So that's
Exactly.
already a choice. We literally choose everything. We're sovereign beings, you guys.
Yes.
We're
Yes.
sovereign beings. We literally choose every single thing.
Yes.
So
And
here
we,
we go.
we create our reality.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
What
we
you
really
see
do.
is what you have created for yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
that
really
is
is.
that is what I share every single day,
Yeah,
because that is what we do. Okay.
yeah,
We are creator beings. We create every step of our journeys.
yeah, we
And but
really do.
most of we create it unconsciously, but we want
Oh
to
yeah,
create consciously. We want to create, when you create consciously, then that changes the whole trajectory of your life. Would
it
you
really
agree?
does. It really does. It really does. Absolutely. I really, a teacher that has impacted me very much is Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Hmm.
And he very much talks about this. He talks about how our subconscious mind runs 95% of our life, which is a fact. We all know that that's true. But he also says the secret here is to become conscious of what's inside, right? It's become conscious of your subconscious. And when you bring that up to the surface, then the choices that you make every single day are the choices that you do that with an awareness that you know what you're planting in the subconscious. That's how you get to change, right? So if you know that your subconscious runs 95%, then the first thing is to bring it to the surface. What's in my root? What's the root cause here? What's running? What program has been running?
Exactly.
What
In
is
the
it?
background, right?
What is it? What's the record that we're playing here in the background? Is it good music or is it not very good? So is the record cracking or something? What's happening?
Yeah.
And so we need to bring that, we need to bring awareness to that. And then the way we create change is by being aware of the fact every single thing that we experience every day in life is gets then stored again in the subconscious, and it creates filters into which you then live your life by, right? So the
Right.
more you intentionally choose what you do, what you believe, what you surround yourself with every single day, the more you are conscious of what goes into the subconscious. So the more you are creating your own program. And this is why we can all change. We
Yes.
can all change. We can all choose which record is it that we're playing. We
Yes.
all choose our own music. We always do, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Very important.
Yeah, it is very important. I'm glad we're discussing all this because as I always say, a lot of people are unaware of that because a lot of people are still in that old mindset that, as I was saying too, you don't think you have a choice,
Yeah.
right? So you
Mhm.
just you go to that 9 to 5 that you don't like, and you do the things that you don't like. So
Yeah.
and then you give all your energy there, and then when you get off, you're so exhausted that you don't even have any time for yourself to make any choices because you gave all your energy to a job that what you didn't like, for
Yeah.
one. So
Yeah.
then that is planted in your subconscious, right? And then you just keep
Yeah.
repeating that. It's a
Yeah.
vicious cycle.
It really is. It really is. And I really like it also from an energy point of view as well. Remember that everything is energy and everything is energy. We live in a world of energy.
Yes.
Okay, everything is. So your attention and your focus is also energy. Okay,
That's right.
so once you give your energy to something, so once you choose to focus on something, you are choosing also not to see something else because you're not giving something else energy. So that's why, like, becoming really, really intentional on what we see, what we consume, what we watch, the teachers that we listen to, the music even that we listen to.
Mm-hmm.
It's so, so important. If you don't want to hear the politics and to be dragged down by the news,
Right.
you do not give energy to that.
Exactly.
Stop watching it.
Exactly.
Get it out of your system.
Yes.
If you're not happy with what's going on, stop feeding it.
Yes.
Stop feeding it. It's your choice, your own energy, and it's within your power to choose what you give energy to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If you, and also if you want to, because you're like, well, I need to know what's going on in the world because I'm not happy with it and I want to change. Great. I feel the same.
Mm-hmm.
Then look from in the mirror. Then look in the
Yes.
mirror and start from there. That is the biggest change. And do not think that your change isn't going to affect other people, because we all affect thousands and thousands of people every
Yes.
single day. So that's
Every
how you create it. Right? That's how you create collective change, is by starting with yourself. Because maybe you have a conversation with a person and you say, this person gets really motivated or inspired, and maybe tomorrow they have a talk with 1,000 people in the audience and they're saying something that you've inspired them, that you inspire them to say, and all of a sudden 1,000 people feel completely enlightened by what this person has said. So now you've changed 1,001 lives. There you go.
yes.
Right? So
Exactly.
start from yourself, and never think that what you're doing is not affecting everyone, because it is. It is. It's affecting so many people. And so will your change, and so will your healing, and so will you choosing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Hmm. Yes, yes, that's something I say as well. Is like you just said, look in the mirror, and we have to see ourselves and change whatever it is that we want to change within ourselves first. We have to stop looking outside of ourselves
Yeah.
and start looking inside so we can change and make those changes for ourselves. So when
Yeah.
we do that, then we will be emanating a essence of love, of
Yes.
joy, of empowerment, because we see ourselves, and then people are going to feel it. Like you said, they're going to see it. When you become so strong in that energy, it is the most powerful thing in the world.
Yeah. It
So it
really
does
is.
start, I agree with you. It does
Mhm.
start with ourselves first. That's how we help the planet,
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. So the thing that you were saying in the beginning, guiding souls into an expanded future, that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is about. Every I do many different things. Yeah, in
Mhm.
my work, I have different modalities. I teach psychic development. I do, mediumship. So many different modalities, akashic records, all of those things. But there is one purpose, one force behind every single thing that I do, and it is to help people come home to themselves.
Right. Right.
Because when we're operating from a place of home, when
Mm.
we're operating from a place where we're truly home, and home to me is connected to purpose, healing, being, conscious, aware, from a place where you are your true self. When we operate from that, then there's no reason for us to hate. There's no reason for us to judge.
That's
There's
right.
no reason for us to feel defensive, because we're sovereign and true, feel confident in who we are. So there's no reason for us to be defensive. There's
Right.
no reason for any division to occur.
Right.
So to me, that's the force behind everything. It's for us to come home to ourselves, so that then we can, that new earth vision we were talking about at the beginning, that's what it is for me. It's if
Mhm.
we are all operating from that, of being at home, of living at soul level, if you want, um then there's no reason for not being in harmony, because we're more compassionate, we're more open, we're more aware,
Mhm.
and we don't attack each other for our differences, but the opposite. Actually, we admire each other for our differences,
Exactly.
and we value each other for our differences. I think that's yeah. I think that's how we get around it. That's how we get around it, Sonia. I think.
Yes, yes, I
Yeah,
agree. Well,
yeah.
one of my statements, I don't think I have it on there now. I have something else on my website, but my statement is remembering our divinity, knowing that our uniqueness is our greatness.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
yes, your uniqueness is everything.
Yes. Yeah.
So I want to be around somebody that is authentic. I don't want to be around somebody that's being like me, trying to be me. No, I want you to be who you are.
Yeah.
When you do that, that makes this world so colorful and vibrant and fun
Yeah.
and limitless,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. So true. So so true. Yes.
Yes, I'm all about as well. Like I received some downloads, and downloads this information, like
Yeah.
intuitive knowledge that let me see, I'm trying to think what year it was. I want to say it was 20, like 2020, like about the new earth,
Mm-hmm.
and that we are a part of it. We are anchoring it in now. And yes, I have webinars, and I have all types of videos where I'm talking about the new earth as well, because I'm at least planting that seed to help people realize what the new earth is, which is it is a state of being. It is a state of being. You
Yeah.
are the new earth. when you vibrate in a loving, compassionate, unified way that knows that, hey, yes, we are all connected here. We have one heart, one mind, and we are here to uplift one another.
Yes.
Yes, I
Yes.
just got
Yes.
a thing go up the back of my
Yes. I love
spine.
it. Yes.
But
Love
yes,
it.
that's what the new earth is, and that's what I've been sharing with people. And yeah, it's beautiful, it's magical.
It
Yes,
is. It
all
really
of
is.
that.
It really is. And you know what? There's so much out there in the world that wants us to not believe that this is possible. There's so much. I just call it distraction. It's
Yeah,
just distraction. It's just chatter. That's it.
yeah, it
That's
is.
all it is, right? It's
Mhm.
just distraction. But there's so much that wants us to not believe this. But
Yeah.
once you turn off the devices, once you turn off the news, once you become just immune to this, you see how so many people have so much hope, so much love, so much positivity, so much.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
it automatically gives you hope again,
Yeah.
right? It automatically opens you up again. And you start a little bit like questioning, like what's going on in the news then? There's so many great people wanting to do great work in the world. So many people are opening up to healing. So many people are being more spiritual. Then why does it feel so heavy in this side, right?
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
when it's all a distraction, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's all a
Yes.
distraction. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. So we are going to round up the podcast, but I just wanted to ask you if you would like any last words that you would like to say. I already have on the screen your website and your call to action. I have everything on there. But yeah, you can share whatever you want to share with
Yeah.
viewers and listeners, and we're going to round up the podcast.
Absolutely. I there's one thing, look, that if anybody, whenever anyone asks me this question, what's one thing that you want everyone to know? I want you to know this. God is inside of you, it's not outside.
Yes.
I will never get tired of saying this. Do not look for God outside of yourself. The moment you realize that God is inside of you, God is you, you are made of it, this is who you are, then your world's gonna change. Do not look for that outside. You're already it. And
Wow.
that's how powerful you are. That's
Yes.
how powerful you are. So remember that. That's how powerful you are.
Yes. And I'm glad you shared that because a lot of people need to hear that. They
Yeah.
really do. So
Yeah.
they don't have to look outside of themselves. That's like, like I want to say that's extra steps. You're looking outside
Yeah.
right there. Look between your eyes. Like you said, look in the mirror. It's
Yeah.
right there.
It's right there. It's the answers are right there. God is right there. Your purpose is right there. None of it is outside.
Yeah.
None of it is
Mhm.
outside.
Yeah.
So just shift the
Mhm.
focus. If there's
Wow.
anything that you can do, just shift the focus, shift where you're looking, and you will see the changes happening. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Excellent. Excellent.
yeah.
All right. Well, dear ones, as I say towards the end of the podcast, to always, to the best of your ability, stay in the present now moment. Try as well to love the steps of your journey. I know it may not always be happy or joyful, but you will learn from it. You will. You're going to look back in hindsight, maybe years later, and say, oh, I get that now. Now I understand. And that is why you went through it, because everything we go through is meant for us to learn and to grow. And there's nothing too big or too small for you to get through. You will always get through any obstacle because, as she just said, God is within you. Stop looking outside of yourself. Your God essence is within you, guiding you every step of the way.
That's
So
it.
remember that. And also remember that the treasure is you. So take care and namaste.